Let's see if it loads. Waiting. Okay, there it goes. Welcome back to What Remains. Sorry, power outage. Hilarious. We were able to continue role playing to a degree. Well, actually, successfully. Really good stuff in between. I'm sad it's gone forever. Our memories will hold on to it. Avran and Hezrod went to go burn the bodies in a ritual for Atavius, honoring Ashrar in the process. Malika talked to townfolk and received some old midwife kit. And Soma and Kel and Fiona went to the tavern where they saw the old conglomerate auto carriage. And after some scouting, learned that a member of House Montule and a conglomerate individual are meeting in the tavern, but weren't willing to talk or discuss anything while another party was present. They are now scrambling, which is the best term I can describe, although it's typical fare for this party, and trying to figure out what they're going to do next. And Hezrod, in my opinion, has the right of it of, I want a beer, I'm going to get a beer. I'm gonna get a beer. All right, cool. Live your best life, though. I do like the fear. I do appreciate the fear. It is my favorite part of running D&D sometimes, because I'm a sociopath. And we're moving on to the next bit. So, right where you left off, continue.
Yeah, it sounds like Hezrod's going to go to the temple to check on his request, and while they're dealing with that and the bodies, I am going to go to that one house with the contact.
Okay. You'll note that there's a bunch of people building a whole ass house outside, which you saw the start of, kind of the processing there. And you'll note that it looks like the marker for empty or no longer in use is currently on display. You'll note that
Son of a bitch.
That doesn't mean that he's gone for good. It just means that he's not currently functioning inside.
Okay. All
right. Honestly, Avron would like to head into the tavern just to see what exactly everyone is worried about.
Okay.
Yeah, and after dealing with his business at the temple, Hezrod would probably mosey on over there as well. Hezrod doesn't give a shit about the Montule. He's got no beef with them.
Cool. Piano's darting into the tree line.
Wait. Do we know, have we connected the dots that the Montules and the Lady of the Deep had some kind of connection?
No.
All
I know is that we found a bunch of... When we raided their tomb initially, they were able to, or at least the tomb itself, revealed Fiona's, ring of horror. And she also found some colored powder that almost identically matched one of those balls that we used, like one of the orbs for the box, for the key. Also, the shrine itself had a bunch of spooky shit, a lot of references, a lot of like angels and demons statues and stuff. So there's definitely something going on with the Montule. And Fiona's paranoid. So I'm running with her idea that they are all nefarious and evil. But that's up to y'all to decide.
Well, now that wait.
Misremembering something.
Chad, hold on.
Sorry, Chad. Now that you're kind of like bringing that to the surface, it's starting to weigh out Fiona's panic, because it's like, why the fuck are we? Like, we need to calm the fuck down. Like, why are we so scared all of a sudden? So Malika, at the same time, doesn't want to fuck with it because they do seem like a problem. So her recommendation or her thought is like, well, why don't Malika, Fiona, and Kel move to the woods, start setting up camp, and the rest of you three kind of wild heathens can go do what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Bring me a beer.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Bring me a beer.
Okay, who's going in first?
Avran.
Okay. Avran, you enter in through the door, and you see that the people as I described them before, but you also see the barkeep. Looks like he is kind of acting a little bit more attemptedly kind of reserved. And he is kind of placing a bottle of very dusty wine, like it's covered with dust and just very kind of old looking, out onto the table, along with a couple of very haphazardly kind of cleaned, but also equally dusty goblets, crystal goblets, out onto the table. And they all kind of like see you enter and turn to look at you, and he kind of says, "If you're just making your way to your room, please go on ahead."
No, I would like a keg of your beer, please.
Actually, the entire room has been reserved, and you see Megan's hand kind of raise up. Wait, I know you. Yes, they can stay with us. Sorry, Juju, I'm getting feedback. They can stay with us. That's now I'm getting feedback from you, Jonah.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody got all their issues. They can stay with, or he can stay with us. That's perfectly fine. There's a chair there for you. Go ahead. Afograd, if you want to retire to your room, I know you weren't very interested in this portion of it. We will of course continue our last leg of the journey tomorrow morning. Oh, of course, my lady, Montalais. I will see you in the morrow. Stands up, looks to Avron. Yes. And heads past you, heading towards the room areas. I assume Hezrod was next on the docket after that?
Yeah, he'd basically be like right behind Avran.
Kel, also in the room as well?
I'm out in the woods.
Oh, okay, hold on. I want to make sure we understand stuff. You deposited the item in the woods, and then the group, after you showed where it was, went back into town and you burned the body. Then they went to go drink beer. Did you go back to the woods after that?
No, I went with them.
Go to drink beer.
Yeah.
Oh. So
I think it's just Avran and Hezrod that went to go drink.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Bubba
Yeah.
will be nearby, but not go in until there's not immediate chaos coming out.
Okay, so then I misinterpreted what was happening there. Apologies on that. I mean, of course, I had a lot of things going on.
That's why you said the primal.
Yeah. I had a lot of things going on simultaneously, so that makes sense that I was kind of a bit
I'll allow it.
distributed. So yeah, that being said, she offers the seat to you, and she's by herself. You can see the three individuals that are at the other table are very closely watching you, predatory and like heinous. As you kind of look over in their direction, you can see that they're maladies of the human form. Their eyes peeking out from underneath their cloaks appear to be not human, like some other creature's eyes have been put in their sockets. It looks almost like Fiona's pet owl.
Oh.
Hezrod would just like immediately get a drink.
Oh no, Avran got a keg.
Hezrod would
For
just
both of us.
immediately. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if it's there, like Hezrod just grabs a glass, fills it up, leans against the bar, starts chugging, and he notices that these weird guys are like staring at him.
So you don't sit with them, you sit off to your side?
I'm sticking with Avran.
Avran walked over to the table.
Yeah,
Oh,
Avran's
okay.
sitting at the table with them with the keg.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Sorry.
Then, yeah, Hezrod
Wait.
sits down and he's like not being discreet about it at all. He's
So
staring at them just the same way they're staring at him.
You just went behind the bar, grabbed a keg, and then just drug it out with you?
No, he asked the barkeep for the keg, and the barkeep was like, "No, sir, I'm sorry." And then Megan was like, "No, they're cool."
Oh,
Right?
I get you. Okay, so yeah, he comes up with the keg then, a pony keg, and sits it on the table. Yeah, okay. You can actually see her like annoyed as it hits the table. Like that's not what she meant, but obviously it was misapprehended by the simple townsfolk. And she looks at you and says, "You're Avran Normac, is that correct?"
Indeed. And you are.
You are a servant of the Church of Atavius, are you not?
Yes.
Sorry, my questions precede my introduction. I am Megan Montalais, and she offers her hand out to you. This is
So he takes it.
This is common kind of just not exactly a handshake, more pleasantry. And she nods and then kind of slips her hand back underneath the table and says, "And your friend Hezrod, another servant of Atavius. Very interesting.
So I'm told.
You would be here in Manus. What brings you to this neck of the woods?"
We have visited Manus often. It is a pleasant place.
Ah, so you might have been privy to the presence of conglomerate mages in this region.
Yes, we killed some, I believe.
Ah, a horrible bit of political faux pas on your part. If only you had had someone more keenly aware of the nature of their presence, you would have understood that they are doing a great justice and service here, instead of trying to butcher them.
It has been a while, but I believe they tried to kill us.
Well, typically someone would try to kill someone who is trespassing on their property. It's a common effect of property ownership. I'm sure you're aware of this. This is very notable in Atavian understanding. A king in his castle, if you will. That said, I understand that the people who had assailed the temple to the north had freed an aberrant creature that they were holding under lock and key to ensure that it was not able to perform horrid acts on the normal populace of Nock or regions around. Were you responsible for that?
What creature do you refer to?
An illithid, known to some as a mind flayer, a beast with tentacles for a face, that is spawned by taking an innocent and rupturing its brain, creating a new entity, a horror from the far planes. Its body seized against its will and transformed into this thing.
These are interesting stories, but no, we have never heard of such a creature.
Interesting. Afrograd had assured me that the people who had accosted the temple and caused issue for the conglomerate representatives there, that this entity was freed by them. Quite the crime to put on someone's sheet. However, I offer you a proposal. You have done something that you were not aware of the consequences of, and I am currently in the process of ensuring that they are able to do their work without any ill eyes. Have you mentioned their presence to the church?
I'm sorry, are they referring to the presence of the illithid?
No, the presence of the conglomerate mages.
Oh,
Out of character, we didn't we?
I'm not sure.
It never came up.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we went to the Broken Temple and we immediately got yeeted.
Yeah, and then you had a whole bunch of other shit happen, and we're dealing with death cults. The conglomerate was not.
And
a
we only
focus.
just recently returned to Manus.
Yeah. The conglomerate were not a focus ever. They had, in fact, Fiona. Sorry, Josie forgot about them ever existing. It's fine.
Well,
She asked if you had mentioned them to the Church of Atavius.
Hezrod doesn't say anything. He keeps drinking.
yes, we have.
Ah, that is unfortunate. I cannot agree to grant you the clemency I was hoping to grant you. I will unfortunately have to bring to the attention of the 10 councils that you have done this crime and allowed for a creature capable of sucking the brain right out of a human or merfolk in mere moments, and you've allowed that creature to go free in this world. According to the conglomerate mage, you've even befriended it. He says he has evidence that is quite damning indeed.
It is okay. We know where to find him.
Find whom?
This creature you speak of.
Ah, so you wish to diminish the nature of your crime by what? Killing it?
If need be.
Ah, well, if it's my understanding, the creature has gone far afield of this place, so I wish you the best of luck on your quest. Avran, roll an
I would
insight.
like to make something very clear.
Both of you go ahead and make insight checks.
Inside checks, you got it.
What'd you get?
Okay.
Hezrod. with your 23, you would note that her saying, "Oh, that'll take you really far afield," was almost like an admission on her part of, "God, then you'll be out of my fucking hair. Bye." Kind of a statement. Like,
John,
go ahead.
Soma will probably wait until about 10 minutes or so has passed and then head in looking in his drab adventurer gear.
Okay.
I don't know when that point will be, but
You said 10 minutes. I'll keep a note. Okay. Not exact, because obviously we're doing role playing and
of course,
it's
yeah.
not precise, but yeah. What were you going to say? You said you were going to make something very clear.
Right.
These conglomerate folks that we encountered.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing nothing but inflicting misery and cruelty. If a threat exists, it is best to eliminate it.
She kind of leans forward, places her hands kind of up to her chin, kind of crossing her fingers. Very kind of strange of posture. Like she doesn't even concern herself with, what you're saying. And she says, "And your evidence of that?" Because from what I understand, the conglomerate mages who were working in that temple were righting the problems that were created by their predecessors. You see, a great amount of a substance known as Orvo was deposited in that temple in their factories. Fortunately, the interference of the Lady of the Deep in that region caused a massive destruction of their facilities. Unfortunately, it caused the substance to start to spill into the sea and into the earth around it. Fortunately, they were able to find a suitable deposit point for it, also created by the Lady of the Deep. A problem solved. I can show you.
You refer to the pond deep in the woods.
Oh, you're already aware of it. I don't have to prove the existence of it to you. Good, great, so much the better. So you understand that you are in the wrong of it. I don't need to further disprove your statements that were made of ignorance. Correct?
Ezra doesn't say anything and just keeps drinking beer. He actually fills it up again.
She smiles, looks back to Avren. I would hope that you would be so kind, holy swordsman, to return back. Soma, you walk in at this point. She looks at you, and she stops talking, like mid-sentence. A friend of yours? She says to Avren.
Indeed.
You walk around with a cur.
Cur.
Yes.
That individual.
A mountebank. A liar.
Well,
you bring
cur to you, maybe.
Bring into my presence a member of House Daigot.
That is an ally.
What? No! You are
excuse
mistaken.
me. Sorry. What? What was that?
Are you still looking like the peasant?
No, I'm looking like Soma, but in drab gear. So
okay, perfectly fine. She does
the other thing we talked about.
Yeah, she does easily call you out regardless. And then she says a quick command word in Draconic, and the hat of disguise discombobulates, causing you to return back to your state. Petty tricks that they throw on their operatives. She looks back to Avren. You travel with a criminal syndicate member. You attack lawful operating individuals, attempting to restore some sort of normalcy to the lands of Osiria.
I apologize, my lady. I don't know who you're referencing. I am simply trying to find my brother, Shigeri Soma.
She looks back to Avran. And you have made word of this to the Church of Batavius. I will do you a service, a kindness. If you do me one, when do you intend to return to the city of Nock?
At our convenience.
Yeah.
Well, will it be within the 6th day?
More likely than not, it will be.
Great. Return to your church and inform them that the message that you had displayed regarding the conglomerate in this region was made in error. If they have any questions, they can speak directly to Morgan Montoulet at the Council of Ten. Do you understand, Holy Swordsman?
I understand.
Good. For order and balance, and you would know this as a regular praise of Atavian worshippers.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see me because my camera for some reason isn't working.
It's okay.
But she does the perfect hand gesture, like she's a member of the church, like it's a kind of secret segment of holy swordsmanship that's not typically relayed to others.
Yeah. Mm.
She looks back to Soma and kind of like annoyed face looking at you. Doesn't say anything. Well, me and mine are going to finish drinking, she says as she kind of takes like the first sip of her wine. And she seems to almost be like just put off by it, just by the sip. Or perhaps I'll retire early. My companion, who you saw upon your entry, and I will be heading to the temple to ensure that everything has been removed. As per my...
I'm sorry, are they referring to the Broken Temple?
No, they don't know about... Oh, yeah, the Broken Temple, yes. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
As was per my specifications. I had the sentence perfect, and you ruined it by saying words. It was so flawless. Whatever. Anyways, basically, she's going to basically double-check the conglomerate's work.
Wish you luck.
Luck is not necessary. I am guided by the even-handed judge.
So, I got a question. That giant-ass construct we first fought at the entrance, was that a conglomerate construct?
It was.
Okay, so if you recall correctly, when that construct was destroyed, Fiona pried it open and cut the head off the doll on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hezrod has had the headless body of that doll hanging off of him this whole time.
She doesn't care. She's not a conglomerate. Okay. She doesn't know. Okay. She doesn't seem to recognize it or identify what it is.
Oh, so she's lying out her ass, or
no.
Or the conglomerate works for her.
The old man that just left was a conglomerate mage, and he looked perturbed by the whole situation. What details of the whole situation he was perturbed by, you may not know, but Hezrod, you can make a quick intelligence check.
Intelligence or insight?
Intelligence, because you're remembering something.
Okay.
Nope.
Yep. Nope.
There's something about that old guy that's just kind of like familiar, but you can't place it.
It's fucking Cardiff!
No.
I think I know who it is.
Yeah, you do. It's the old guy who basically negotiated with you to just fucking leave. Or he's like, we're gonna leave.
Oh, so that's where she got her evidence. Interesting.
Yeah. So
but I know that out of character, not in character, so that's fine.
Fair enough. She's gonna finish like her cup of wine, but it looks like she's struggling to get through it. And then
Hezrod leans over, he's looking at it, he says, "Do you need some help?"
She slides the bottle over to you. Enjoy. I'm going to retire early. And Master Swordsman, I would very much request your audience when you're back in Nock. If you have an available moment in the city, please invite me for tea at some point, wherever you wish to partake. She smiles as she stands up. She obviously is very comely and moves with the grace of a dancer as she heads out. The three individuals who are with her stand up in unison and move like soldiers of a bygone age, following her in a defensive formation, leaving you three and Kenneth, the barkeep, in the space to deliberate.
So, like, even Hezrod is kind of like struck by her as she like gets up and walks away, and he's like, "This isn't his normal thing." So he's even kind of like confused. Like as he's like attracted, he's like, "What's happening to me?
What's going on?" Yeah, she definitely radiates a dominance. Is the best way I can kind of describe it.
If I could make one request, could you spell out the name that she called Soma?
Oh, she said that Soma was a member of House Daigot.
Right. How do you spell that?
It's in the chat.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Hezrod might bring that up later.
Soma, you would note that her ability to disjunction your hat is not an ability that you are terribly familiar with. You have heard it is possible for very powerful members of Montule, Harrigan, and one other to disjunction magic items that are created in their houses. So apparently she is either familiar with who made your hat or is familiar with the idea of that kind of style of hat. House Daigot does not make its own magic items. They outsource to other houses.
Everyone is with it.
All right. So you three are in the tap room by yourselves. What would you like to do?
Well, now that we've all made a mess of things, perhaps we should rejoin the others and continue on.
Everyone's gonna take the keg with him.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, Hezrod's like, good idea. One for the road.
I apologize. It looks like I'm having issues with my Zoom now. I'm going to close it out and hope that I can jump back in like last time.
You want to do a new Zoom call? Or?
I'm going to assign Chad as the boss. I don't think
promotion.
I don't
Chad's
think
dead now.
Chad's dad. Chad's dad. Continue role playing. I don't think it's an issue with the meeting itself. I think it's more an issue with my. Apparently, when I logged back in, the update had caused Snap Camera to be my primary camera source, and I closed it out, which means that it just kind of disappeared. But
So
anyway,
does
You
Hezrod
can't
know
change
anything
it
about?
in.
what's that?
Sorry.
I was going to ask if Hezrod knows anything about House Daigot.
Do you, Chad the player, know anything about House Daigot?
No.
There's your answer.
Okay.
So
I didn't
we
know
all.
if it was previously established or.
Sure. If you can't remember and you don't have notes, I'm not going to continue to fill in the blanks. They have been mentioned, but you don't remember when.
Okay, that's fair. And it could have also been mentioned in circumstances that Hezrod was not present for.
Sure.
Because I know other characters tend to gravitate towards the political intrigue stuff, and that's not.
Hezrod can't blow up political intrigue.
Yeah.
So
Can't drink it. It's not worth it.
Can't drink it, can't blow it up. Fuck it.
as we're heading out, we're gonna head to the outside of Manus.
Oh,
I know where the rest of the party is.
okay.
Okay.
Hezrod definitely wants to stick around town until he hears back from the priests.
So yeah, you would actually, if you ask Kenneth, the barkeep, he says, "Oh, they stopped by," and you would have actually gotten that information, that exchange from the member, or the member of the church. They would have bequeathed the scroll of Raised Dead to you, or not Raised Dead, sorry, Resurrection to you.
Nice.
His eyes go wide. He drops his cup, and he kind of takes it.
It would have been like when you were burning people.
Oh, it would
Oh,
have.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so he would have already had it by now.
yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, he puts that shit in like his scroll case, and he is keeping that thing. He takes that scroll case and like stuffs it inside his armor. Like that is like the most precious thing he fucking owns right now. And he like he's like really excited. He like grabs Avran. He says, Avran, this is great.
Well, that is good. Yes, you wish to help the hag now.
I wish to undo a terrible mistake.
Well then, I will help you.
Ah, thank you, Avran. Truly a great friend. And you even got me beer.
Anytime. So then we go outside to our camp with Soba,
Cool.
right?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing? Okay.
What time of day
Okay,
is it?
so
Do,
can I
Probably-
get an out of
Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I get an out of character recap for whatever the hell just happened with the Montule?
Your
Like-
character wasn't there, so not yet.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm gonna be sassy to Chad because he doesn't take notes. I'm gonna be sassy to you because your character's not there. We got sass on offer today. But yeah, you get to regroup, and you can tell anybody whatever you want to tell them, and so forth and so on.
Avran is going to tell everyone most of it, and he's going to leave out the meeting part where she wants to meet Avran for tea. That's
Oh,
it.
but that's a knock.
Yeah. He's gonna
So-
tell everyone everything except that meeting part.
Well, that didn't seem too bad. We were afraid of them?
Is Hezrod know that?
Yeah, he was there when that exchange.
Yeah, Hezrod knows he was there the whole time. But
And he's not gonna mention it.
I mean, why would he? It's like it doesn't mean anything to Hezrod. He's just like, oh, two people are getting together to drink some tea, whatever.
True.
Tea lame.
Okay, now that Avran is explaining things, can I get a out of character summary,
Yes.
please?
so what had happened was Avran and Hezrod walked into a bar.
Mhm.
It sounds like
And
that
then-
became a bad joke.
Yeah,
That's
right?
clear.
So Megan and her conglomerate fellow were in the middle of a discussion, and the conglomerate fellow was the one that the party before anyone joined told us not to go into the Broken Temple. And we decided, fuck that, we're going in anyway. Got teleported halfway across the world, or halfway across the continent, and then summoned the 100-handed one. And they know that we did it, but it's speculated that we did it. But now it's not speculated that we did it because Megan is smart enough to realize that we were in fact the ones that released that creature and the Mind Flayer. So yeah, and then she
Knew that
asked us if we
Avran grabbed
told.
the blade. Like she knew that
It
you would
wasn't
grab the
Avran.
blade?
It wasn't Avran. It was
Who was it?
another.
Was it Hezron?
No, it was the ranger, that we had previously. I forgot his name.
Oh, right. Got you.
He pulled it
So,
out.
and no one had the sword itself, right? Like it ended up.
No,
kinda
the
going.
100-handed one, like Avran had it, and then the 100-handed one was like, "Drop it, or I eat you." And then
Right.
Avran was like, "Fuck this!" And then the 100-handed one decided to step on Avran with his 100 hands.
Okay, that's what I remember. I remember you yeeting
Yeah.
the sword.
Yeah.
Got you.
But yeah,
But
so
y'all
yeah,
did decide together to release the Mind Flayer.
yes,
Okay.
because he was being tortured. We felt bad.
Mhm.
He was
Darling.
hungry. Yeah.
Per brain.
So we made We made a homie in the Broken Bladed Mountains, I believe.
No, not even close.
No? Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
I actually did write that one down.
I wrote it down too somewhere. But
Ooh, if you say it right, I'll give you inspiration.
Radacorda?
Yeah, Radacorba Zabrak.
Yeah. I'll give you inspiration. Both of you.
Well,
if you don't
actually,
have
we
it.
both already have it.
Well, then
Yeah.
you don't get anything. Nobody gets anything either.
I'm gonna give my inspiration
Love
to
you.
someone who doesn't have it.
I'll allow
So-
one gift of inspiration.
Okay.
I gave everybody inspiration when I was dead.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So whoever doesn't have inspiration, you got it now. Whoever doesn't have it.
Okay, I don't think I have it. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Do,
Wait. So you released the Mind Flayer, okay? And so
Yes.
now, are we all wanted for these crimes now?
No,
personally, I think she was bullshitting.
she may have been, but I don't think she was.
Okay, so what did she say exactly?
She didn't say anything in terms of punishment. She just knows now that it's us that has released that mind flare, and she wanted to know if we told she was being shady, and she wanted to know if we told the Octavian Church. Averin lied, but she didn't. At least I don't think she knew. And yeah,
So you did tell the church that you
no,
killed the
we
conglomerate
did
mage?
not. We
Okay.
did not. We didn't even tell the church about the mind flare.
How do they know all this?
Because they're working with the conglomerate and that conglomerate mage that was there
But
originally.
Now
He's
that's the
snitched.
thing is we don't know that in character.
Yeah, we do
Mhm.
because Jonah was smart enough to suss out that the old
Oh.
guy Aphograd was the dude
Yeah.
who basically told you don't go into the temple and we're
Okay.
leaving.
Yeah, and we were
Oh,
just like, no.
right, so
we're
Averin
doing
figured it out, but Hezrod missed that detail.
Yeah, Hezrod
Okay,
got
Everyone
there.
would say-
are we all up to speed now? Like, can we kind of move past this?
Yes.
Are we all
sorry.
aware?
Forgive me.
Fiona will be happy to know that they have no interest in going to see the Dragon Shrine. They're going to the
True.
the temple that we went to. So if you want to go to the Dragon Shrine, that's free and clear. Not only that,
Yeah.
but they're retired for the night, so we can totally stay here.
True.
Okay. She would still want to. Yeah, she'd still want to camp here in the woods, like we've planned, basically.
Averin's gonna be in his cart. Y'all can be in the woods.
She does kind of like look both at Averin and Hezrod though, like with a bit of a glaring eye. And just kind of
Everyone
casually,
ignores it completely.
right? She just kind of casually says, I understand that you're both very brave, but please try to heed my warnings in the future. I don't know if it would have done anything to avoid them, but perhaps they wouldn't have been as certain in their beliefs if we had just not engaged at all.
You may be right, but at least we now know where exactly they're going, instead of wondering where they're going.
Well, I was actually just going to observe their path in the morning, but I suppose you're right on that front. It does save us some time.
Oh, I forgot. I am. Hold on. Yeah. I forgot to post a picture of what she looked like because of all the explosions. But yeah, there.
Lovely. So Fiona
Tea time!
just, like
Shut up, you sexist.
horrific. She's kind of grumpy now, and she's also really paranoid and clearly upset and scared. So she just kind of finds like the shadiest corner she can find, and starts playing the Bandador pretty badly. Like she's trying to play the song that Kel played earlier pretty well, and she's not really. This is not her instrument of choice. But the rest of you just have to deal with it. She's not letting up.
Yeah, I guess the shadiest
That's a-
corner is whichever corner Fiona's in.
Indeed.
And Kel mentioned that. Yes, not my first pick either.
She kind of like nods her head. Do you perhaps, well, could you maybe teach me some of the chords you were able to manage earlier? Just so it's
Yeah, sure.
like-
Let me see that for a sec.
She hands it over and watches with like great interest.
Yeah, you like kind of hold it out a little bit and then do very slowly.
Yeah. As the tunes are kind of like hitting, you're starting to understand the nature of the notes that are being kind of displayed from the instrument, and it's kind of causing you to remember things. You also have like the neurons all firing kind of pretty much at peak performance with the crown, so you are actually kind of like remembering things. Like you remember being capable at playing instruments when you were younger and just kind of like pushing that away, like playing, when you were kind of hanging out in the bar and doing waitress work, kind of getting some, lessons from people who would stumble into the bar and play music for, a nice relaxed atmosphere. You remember stories that, Professor Corrigan used to tell regarding like, his own kind of like interests, but you were always too shy to ask him to like teach you in those regards. But you definitely saw a lot of the books that passed from him back into the shelves, and you did oftentimes spend a bit of time consulting them. As you watch Kel kind of perform these notes and kind of, play with this instrument, it's almost like you're just spurred to take the instrument yourself and play yourself.
She does. And as she's reaching for it, she kind of audibly, because she's starting to really take to Kel. He's been very friendly and warm and strangely comforting. So she kind of just says out loud, I actually sort of remember being good at this, or rather the lute.
yeah.
But yes, actually. And her whole face actually starts to light up, and a lot of the stress and anxiety that you've really just come to know as like her permanent expression starts to loosen as she takes it from you.
I was like, here you go, give it a shot.
She starts playing a few gentle chords of Good Ale for My Money, and again, her smile lights up because she's starting to remember how happy it made her mom. And even though she was super frustrated by the experience as a kid, kind of being encouraged to perform, she starts to remember how joyful music was. And as she's playing this, a lot of her paranoia seems to lessen as well.
There you go. You got it.
All right. Do you folks take any watches as you start to prepare for the long rest, or?
Nah, we're safe.
Okay.
I mean, I could lay down some. She should. So let me see. A couple traps if we want.
Fiona would love that.
I'll
Yeah,
kind of like
good
the
call.
main spots. I can do 4. So I do the main spots where people would most likely come through.
Okay.
I'll do 3 cordon of arrows.
Cool. Kind of setting traps to kind of protect you in your rest. You folks head off to bed. And some of you, if you're up, are up at different hours and times, just kind of keeping to work and practice. What you do note is that as the night kind of lingers, in the midst of it, a mist starts to kind of fill out the forest area that you're in. Thick as pea soup, just as thick as it can be. Really just blocking and obscuring anything sight line wise. But it's the nature of fog and mist. When lights are kind of brightly shown in them, they kind of very clearly are visible. And the lamps that guide the way of the auto carriage flare up inside of the town. And you can see that the auto carriage is moving northward very early in the morning, almost during the night even. Like 3 a.m. ish.
Like towards Argenti?
No, they're heading north, like around the
Towards the
mountain.
Broken Temple.
Yeah, they're moving around the mountain to the Broken Temple. It's a rough ride.
Ezra's snoring loudly in a horse trough by this point.
Avran is laying comfortably in his cart.
Okay.
I'm sleeping on a tree branch.
All right. And if nothing else happens, the rest is complete. You can go ahead and level your characters if you gained enough experience last session to do so. And if not, then sorry about you. Try harder next time. JK.
I think I did.
Can
Go ahead.
Can you roll for me?
Oh, sure. D10 for you?
D12.
Oh, you're doing a barbarian?
Yeah, dude, Barber.
Barbarian.
Barber.
Who else level?
Staff of healing.
Hey, yo, a little late.
Okay, yours or mine?
Yours.
5.
That's better.
I rolled a 1 on my 1d8, so I'll take whatever trash you roll.
I got a 3. Sorry.
Great day for me so far.
I would show you on my camera, but unfortunately.
All right, Josie, we're trading the boots cloak for the instrument.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so in the morning when she kind of wakes up, she sort of looks at the instrument again and smiles, feeling like she cannot part with it. So she approaches Kel first. He's the first, and she kind of actually leans over his face, like really eager to wake him up. Kel,
up in a tree.
oh, so she actually just starts like throwing pebbles at him. Kel, could you please? I want to talk to you. I have a proposal.
What? One of them hits me in the head and I fall off.
She kind of puts a hand over her mouth. So sorry. I was just thinking. I really like this instrument. I don't really want to part with it. Perhaps we could make a trade. She starts taking off her cloak. But perhaps the cloak and the boots would be a good fit for you. And she takes them off.
He kind of like rubs his eyes, and he's like, "Well, I guess it wasn't my favorite thing to play. You know what? I think you're better suited to have it. How about that? Then I'll take the boots and cloak."
She beams and she hugs you. Thank you. I know it's not enough. It's not nearly enough. If you want any money or anything else, I'll be happy to give it to you. But I just
no. Just help me find one once we get back to Knock.
She beams. Of course. I'd be happy to.
Something a little more twangy.
She just smiles at that. I'm sure we can find something. I actually know a few
all
bars.
leveled.
What?
Muted?
What?
No, you're not muted. We heard you.
Oh, who
What
all
happened?
leveled?
Oh, I did, and I think Soma did as well.
Me.
Fiona did.
Oh, so
What level are
everyone.
you at?
9? 8, sorry, not 9. Wow, geez.
I'm 8 also.
Yeah, Malika and Hezrod, I believe, are pretty
We've
close.
been 8.
Yeah. And you're on your way to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I see a side message I haven't been paying attention to, and also I'm getting feedback from Jonah.
What, bro?
Oh, yeah, sure. I got you. Sorry, Tom. You can just drag and drop them typically. But if not, I can get you.
Josie, I'm moving it around on the spreadsheet.
Oh, you got it. It's already down at the bottom there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I already had it open.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
And the instrument is a Banador, right?
Yeah.
Banador.
I shortened it in here just but I think it's like the Bard something.
There it goes.
Wait, a bard thing? I thought it's just an instrument, right? A Banador.
No, it's not just.
It's a magic Bard one.
Oh.
Yeah. It's I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that.
You can't use it yet, but unless you're already a bard.
Fulchlon? Falkland?
Baby cat. Oh, you can do what you want. There is no camera out of the block. You can do what you like, buddy. I posted it in the link somewhere. I don't remember. It's an instrument of the bards.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
It's a
when
special one. It's an actual special one.
When we wake up this
Cool.
time, we get we're
Nice.
heading
Cool.
we're heading to the Dragon Shrine temple.
Is that right?
Oh, I need to do a health roll too. Sorry.
I
Oh,
believe so.
D10 for you?
Yeah.
Thank you, Rabbit John, for posting that in the chat there. I'm going to pull up my crystal
And-
D10 for this one.
And stats.
I got an 8.
8. Hell yeah.
Pretty good.
So it's got some rangers, druid spells, entangle, fairy fire, shillelagh, and speak with animals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's pretty swank. Okay, so you're heading to the Dragon Temple, or Dragon Shrine, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The item is actually located in the compendium. I'll go ahead and
Oh, I found it. I found it.
I'm just drag and dropping it into your character sheet. It's at your bottom of your inventory.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Is the cloak of protection still up for grabs?
Is it? It should be, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's using it.
Okay. Well, I know Fiona was expressing interest in the staff of healing when she picked
Hold
up.
on, we've got a spreadsheet.
Thank you, Treasurer. Replacement Elizabeth.
Yeah. So after Fiona has the instrument, she sits down, kind of cross-legged, waiting for the rest of you to all wake up. And as she starts playing a few tunes, she gets this kind of strange feeling that the lessons she passively observed as a student of Corrigan seem to have taken root. And she is now somehow able to recall certain spells that he had used before. She took a level in Bard. So now that she's playing it, it's actually quite beautiful. She knows how to play it well. Because I feel like part of the instrument, the uncommon item, is that once you attune to it, anyone can play it, right?
I don't know if that's accurate. I would have to read the magic item card.
Or sorry, I just thought any instrument that a bard uses as a spellcasting focus, they would automatically know how to play. I thought.
No, I mean you can use it as a spellcasting focus, but it's not going to be perfect pitch performances or even well performed. It's being used a different way than it would be for regular music. Stop being such a bad cat. I hate us. Don't do a bad thing. Okay. So Chad wanted the Cloak of Protection.
Yeah, and then the Staff of Healing was going to go to Fiona.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that you attuned to it, right?
Are you asking me or Fiona?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm more for Radajon, that's fine. It was a pain to play it. Let's just say that. You rested it off, no big deal. Stop it.
Funny.
Stop it.
Okay. Hezrod, you've got Bitterheart's Spear, Gauntlets of Ogre Power, and Cloak of Protection. Fiona, you've got
the Bard weapon.
And/or the Staff of Healing and a Ring of Protection.
So it's Fochlukin Bandor? Is the pronunciation?
Okay.
You're a Fochlukin.
Bandor.
Fochlukin.
Cool. So also the Staff of Healing now, because I guess she'll also kind of approach. She'll throw a rock at Hezrod too.
He's sleeping in a horse trough in town.
Then she'll just immediately, she won't even wake him. She'll just look through his things and take the staff. She's still kind of pissed at him, so she doesn't even ask. Now that she feels like she can use it, she's grabbing it.
Staying corrected. It's actually Folklukin.
It is at full charges.
Okay, cool. Perfect. I will keep track of that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then you're heading to the Dragon Shrine.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he wakes up and he can't find the staff, but he feels like the attunement has been broken. So he quickly gets in the wagon and starts digging through shit till he finds that Cloak of Protection he had for a while, and then he just throws that back on and he says, "Where'd that staff go?"
Cool. And after that, off you go to the Dragon Shrine. You get there. It's as you left it. The goo has dried on the stone. It's very green. Kind of just there. The doors are left the way you left them. The adamantine doors open, as is the ogre broken door.
We go to the Orichalcum door.
You do indeed. And then what happens?
Can we buff, please, before we go in there?
Buff time.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm still trying to record all my new cool stuff. I think I have it all perfect though now. I think.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I'm just pulling up some of the spells because there's a lot of new spells.
Absolutely.
There's a lot for that instrument too.
I was just about to say that's the one that's throwing me off. I didn't realize it had spells, so I didn't look them up, but I am now.
That's awesome.
Everand, do you want to be monkey?
Oh,
The doorway is about 10 foot wide.
I don't think we need that.
Maybe regular size monkey.
I guess if we're gonna start exploring the place, here, hold on, let me reset my spell slots.
Stop being such a bad cat. Serious. You don't get to go on there. Sorry, I'm having a
But
crisis.
Father, I crave violence, Father.
You can't have it. Thank you. Jump up here, be good. If you be good, I'll give you some catnip after.
Oh.
Catnip.
That's the real.
You want violence, that's how you get it.
Good.
Indeed. Okay, so the door. You see the hole. You have the key. What would you like to do?
Fiona.
Walk away.
That's absolutely an option.
Trying to think who my aid targets should be.
I love aid.
Okay.
Probably Avrin and
Avran, Hezrod, and
Pick me.
Soma's a melee guy.
Soma, have you been getting into melee?
So, like I said, it's 10 foot wide. So, Avran has Hezrod front. Second line is.
I guess I'll be in the second line.
Okay.
Yeah. Fiona
But is
will.
Soma like a stabby rogue or like a shooty rogue?
I am now more stabbier.
Oh, I don't need aid.
Before we enter, I think Fiona's actually going to test out one of her new spells, and she'll actually deliberately turn to Malika before and say, "I'm trying very hard not to be so afraid anymore," and cast heroism on herself.
Cool.
Boom.
Yes, boo. Yes.
Lasts
You
for
got 15?
1. It only lasts for 1 minute, so.
So that's
Okay, thank you.
Perfectly fine. Very flavorful. We love it. So then you take the key and
Put it in. Try to open it.
you move it and set it to kind of place it against the hole, and it almost as if it magnetizes. It pulls the key into itself, locking it into place. You then kind of hear a soft clicking sound that's repeated, and it sounds like multiple repetitions of this clicking continue to happen. It seems to go on for about a minute. It's almost as if something with hundreds of legs was running across the ground. Until finally, the door vanishes. In its place now is an archway, or an open portal, that leads into a 10-foot wide hallway that seems to be grown over with this strange, just greenish moss. Kelly, you actually are the first to identify that this moss appears to be very similar to that which was on the stone structure in the pond.
I will definitely point that out.
It looks like the hallway continues on to a terminus, at the end of which you see the face of a demon engraved in the wall. Its mouth is left open. Okay. You see okay or no?
Hold on, John. I had summoned an aberration.
Okay. Go ahead and pull it onto the map. It's fine.
Sorry, I'm trying to navigate to the right area.
I just snap zoom you. It should have snapped you to it.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. But you see that the hallway continues on for a duration, and it looks like the end of it, there's a T, it's kind of like a intersection there. But directly in front of you is the face of a demon that stares at you with its mouth open. Inside of its mouth is solid blackness. You've seen this kind of magic before. A dark portal or dark space in its mouth, just wide enough for a hand to fit in.
Oh, fuck.
Alright, I guess.
Actually,
Everyone stand back, please.
Fiona's actually going to push you aside, and she's going to put her hand in.
You're walking in that direction?
Heyo.
Straight line?
Yeah.
Okay. Once you step here, you hear a loud click.
Damn.
And bear with me here for a second as I shoot you with a trap.
Cool. Can't wait.
Should have let Avra do it.
Damn.
I think we got a guy.
We got a guy who does this on the regular. I'm now having some latency issues because, apparently the world does not fucking want me to run this session. That's fine. I get it. Whatever. It's so good. Just so scared. The other thing you're noticing about this space, Fiona, as you're entering in, is that there appears to be this very ghostly light that's just kind of lingering on the stones in here that seems to illuminate it enough that you can see everything, but not enough for you to be able to kind of like make out minute details. Anyways, the point is I'm shooting you.
Shoot me.
All right. As you step out onto the space, you are struck by a dart that flies out of the wall to your left and another dart that flies out of the wall to your right. Both come in, hitting you, pincer. These darts are not very long, but they definitely have a girth to them. And you take 11 points of piercing damage in total.
Cool. So reduced by 7. So 8, 9, 10. So 4.
It would have been 2 separate instances, one of 5 and one of 6. So I don't know how your reduction is actually happening here. What's the reduction from?
I just get 7 temp hit points at the start of every turn.
Got it. So then, yeah, you would... it would soak through that, and you'd take 4.
Yeah, so I take 4. Perfect.
Okay. You stop and take a breather.
Fiona, are you okay?
She just kind of gives a shaky thumbs up. I don't know how you want to. So her next turn, she'll get them again. But she takes a step, kind of. Actually, no, she doesn't move. She's afraid that if she lifts her foot, the click will do something again. Could she kind of try to figure out, or make some kind of check to figure out if she releases the pressure, if something else will happen?
You can make an investigation roll.
Okay. She just kind of holds up a hand and then says, "Please, there are triggers in the floor. No one move yet." And she tries to make an investigation.
Yeah, so the pressure plate you're on does seem to have a dual activation. If you were to step off of it, it does seem like it will do something else. What it does, you're not sure, but you definitely have a vibe that and a feeling from your investigation that will happen. What you do notice with that investigation roll that's important is all throughout this entire hallway, about 5-foot intervals, there are more holes that are covered up with moss on the walls that look like they are prepared to launch more darts.
She immediately points that out to everyone. What just happened to me will happen to all of us, and if I step off, something else will happen. I'm not sure what. I weigh roughly 100 pounds. Does anyone have a rock I can maybe switch out?
There are no rocks.
Oh,
Can
wait.
Avron do a running jump to see how far he can get?
I have a summon.
What do you have?
A summon.
What kind of aberrant spirit did you summon?
It's Beholder.
It doesn't weigh 100 pounds. It weighs about 12.
Oh.
Beholders are mostly gas.
We like to say she's a skinny queen.
No, they're not. They're not skinny. They're very massive, like in size, but they don't weigh a lot because they float. Like they literally are like balloons.
That sounds like a matter of opinion because she knows she's a skinny queen.
You can't see my face here, but I almost shot soda all over my camera, making it not work even more.
As you should.
We love it.
So okay, aberrant spirit doesn't go fuck. Never mind.
So
yeah, Ezra finds the fact that you summoned a beholder very shady.
Incredibly shady.
Why?
Well, it was just there, and at first he's like, "What? What the fuck?"
It's not the first time she's summoned an aberrant creature.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't see her. I mean, you could have seen her go like, you know.
Yeah. So it's like he knows it's like Malika summoned it, but he wasn't like expecting that.
Oh, that's fair. But yeah, Aberrant said he's going to get a running jump and then jump.
Yeah, he's going to jump as far as he can to see if he can reach the hole before he gets fired on.
Okay, so you can get a decent amount of a running jump, and then you do so. Your strength is 20?
No, it's actually 16.
Okay, go ahead and make a athletics check.
He's running towards me, right?
He's trying to jump past you, so I assume that's the case. You manage to get the feet up and leap right from behind Fiona using kind of the pressure plate notation as a marker. And you jump a full solid 20 feet, landing feet first and able to kind of slide onto your butt into that position. So if you've seen like long jump into like the sand, like that kind of thing, you're kind of putting your feet forward, trying to get that, distance, and you manage to do it. As you kind of hit the ground there, you can see the thing that, I was discussing. It is a demon face, mouth is a hole, it is a vacant shadow. And then to the left, you can now see that the hallway seems to continue on. Looks like there's some sort of grate in the floor, an iron grate, and you can actually hear the sound of water kind of burbling. Your presumption is that this might connect to the water fountains that are outside of the Dragon Shrine, the two that are kind of alongside the door, the main door. And then to the right, it looks like there is a passageway that leads out to what appears to be a much more open space. But you can't really tell the gravity of that situation as of yet, as you slowly pick yourself up off the ground. Done with Avran for a second. Meanwhile, Hezrod, Soma, Kel, and Malika. I'm going to do each one of you in turn, starting with Hezrod. What would you like to do as you see this unfold? If you need a second, I can skip you and move to the next person.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Come to me last.
I think Soma is just gonna let them keep doing what they're doing since they seem so gung-ho about it, and they didn't listen yesterday, so...
You know what, for flavor's sake, do you want to go ahead and make an investigation roll real quick? Yeah, good enough. You recognize the nature of the trap, you just need some time with it. You're pretty sure you could probably disarm it. It would just take a beat for each plate. It looks like they're 10-foot wide plates, and there's 4 of them. All right, moving on. Malika.
Okay, so I can tell that these 4 are trapped, right? Like the 4.
Yeah, basically the space that Fiona's in, 3 spaces between her and Avran have plating to them. But they're pointed out to you, and you can kind of see the differentiation between the ground you're walking on and entering.
So, like, these are not trapped.
No, those are trapped. They're 10 foot. They're 10 foot wide.
So those are the ones that are trapped.
10.
The panel she's on is this.
Avran skipped it because he jumped over it.
All of them, yeah. If he had rolled under 20, he would have hit the last one and gotten shot.
Is it like 1 dart hole per plate?
It seems that there are 2 dart holes, one on either side per plate.
I'm gonna send my spirit to go peek around over here.
Yeah, it flies out, and hold on a second. You can see through that.
Oh no!
Can you see through that?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to.
Actually,
I'm taking sight away from you.
I can see it too.
Yeah, same. Okay, now I can't.
You can't see through your summons.
That's rude.
I saw through Malika's summon.
Yeah, I can still see through Malika's summon.
I can't
Don't
anymore,
look through my summon.
How are you able to see through the summon? I took vision away from it.
It shows
Primal
a
magic.
dim outline.
Yeah, it's just
it looks
shaded.
it's I guess it's doing Fog of War now.
Yeah.
Now it
Yeah,
is.
it's like a Fog of War effect. So,
Yeah, we can still see it.
So, John, I can
see.
see like a grade out of this.
Well, you shouldn't be able to see
because
anything over there, so stop.
Stop.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
I guess Hezrod has light on him, which is fine because if it was dark, that's exactly what he would do.
Dynamic lighting.
Some of these people.
0 multiplier. Save settings.
Kiro just kind of looks over at Soma. I don't suppose you know how to do this, or should I just step off and hope for the best?
Oh, are we done just charging blindly into things without a plan again?
She kind of shakes her head, like a little bit of sweat rolling down her neck. I perhaps overcompensated. Please help me.
With that, once it comes around to me again, I will.
No, I'll wait.
Hezrod's waiting to see what the smart people do.
Interesting. I don't know how to get rid of it. Try not to use the sight from the aberrant spirit as visibility. You shouldn't be able to see from it.
That's fair.
Well, I can't anymore.
I
Or
can
we can't.
see
It doesn't
this
do
then.
anything anymore.
Cool.
Like if
It
I
was
move
just a
the
first.
aberrant spirit around, it doesn't shift anyone's sight or my
Okay.
sight at least.
Great.
Yeah.
I can see then. Yeah, I can see then up to here, and up to here since I'm up here.
Got it. Cool. That being said, Cal, what are you doing?
I guess I'll walk up here. Would I be smart enough to notice the plates?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, well, there it is there.
Yeah, Fiona already pointed them out.
Fiona stepped on the first one, then there's this
Okay.
one, and this one, and they go all the way across the hallway.
Oh, on both sides. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 10 foot wide. Wide as in like the hallway. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Your face.
Hezron was going to cast a flying spell on himself and just fly over, but it
You're
seems
going
like
to waste
I
up third levels.
I have volunteered.
no. What I'm saying is, but it seems like Soma has a plan.
I'll step back and I'll look at some and I'll be like,
Okay.
You can tinker with that, huh?
You walk over to Fiona, and you've already made your investigation check. You can see an access point since she's lowered it down a bit that you can actually get into the mechanics of it. Go ahead and make a Thieves' Tools check with dexterity.
Can I cast guidance
I'm
on
gonna
him?
give you some bardic inspiration. She's gonna say, "I made
Oh.
this mess. Please help me."
You can absolutely
I
help.
know you can do it.
So you have a D4 added to the roll, and then you also can add a D6 if bardic inspiration is the way I remember it to the roll
Yes,
as well.
D6.
So you can roll, and then a D6. Yeah.
Yay!
Pop the tools in very quickly. Just disable the trap. You look at Fiona and kind of like guide her back off of the plate just to make sure. And once she's kind of pulled away from the plate, you see the plate does not move back. It settles down in its grooved spot, and it doesn't reactivate. But you can tell that these are reactivating traps. You know that the easier method of disabling these traps is very simple. How many daggers do you have on you that you're willing to spare? Some.
I have 2.
Okay.
Hezron has one.
That's probably not a course of action you'd want to engage in. Do you have pittons for a climber's kit?
Yes.
Okay.
I have 5 of those.
You tack 3 of them into the ground and you disable the next 3 traps without having to get them pushed down. Because pushing it down made it easier, but it also sprang the trap on someone.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe 3 minutes worth of work. Boom, boom, boom. Just tap, tap, tap.
Malka will hand over the 10 pittons she keeps in her pack over to Soma.
I was just gonna say, Fiona has no need for them. She hands him as well, so now you have 30 pittons.
I don't think I need quite that many.
You carry them.
You don't know.
You got it. You got it now.
We don't know.
Avran, as that's going on, you and the spirit are kind of at the crux of the hallway there. You kind of step out and kind of look around. To the left, it does look like there's a strange kind of passageway that leads to some sort of crypt. The passageway in question, as you look it over, you actually realize there's some sort of crystal or glass barring you from moving into that room. It's almost as if like that room is sealed by this glass. Then there's also the, as I mentioned, kind of hole in the ground with the iron bars and the sound of water rushing underneath. Not like rushing, but like burbling. And then to the right, it looks like it opens into a massive chamber with a railing. And kind of floating in the air is this very strange creature. A very strange creature indeed, just kind of hovering up, and then it kind of descends down out of sight. Seems to just be kind of lowering itself up and down. It looks like a weird malady of a dwarf with wings on its head that are being used to keep it aloft.
That's terrifying. Okay. Does this grate remind me of the slime traps that we had to deal with in that, I think it was in Land's End?
No.
Okay. Well, Avron's gonna tell everyone. He's gonna shout back what he sees. But he is going to head towards the dwarf flying man.
Okay.
Nope, wait for Hezrod.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what you're going to do.
He was around the
Check
corner.
out the room.
And Soma doing his work, again, takes a couple minutes to get there. So, Avran, if you're going to proceed before Soma finishes the job, you have like another minute or so to do what you please.
Sorry, DM.
Yeah.
Would you say at this time, Fiona, her spell's off now? Probably heroism.
Yeah.
Got you. Thank you. I'll just note that.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that.
Avron, wait!
Oh, no worries.
I mean,
Avron's
not rushing.
Walking.
He's not rushing. He's just carefully checking.
Once you kind of come to the area there, you'll note that the ground, kind of at your feet, looks like there's a white kind of cut or segment of marble that seems to kind of act as the progression to this next space. Looking at it, you kind of realize that, strangely enough, it has almost like a gap on either side of it. Not the sides, but like the front and back of it. Like it's setting inside of this empty kind of cavity in the floor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, almost like a boss fog.
Well,
if
no,
you will.
it's just like a piece of marble that's like a good like 3 feet thick that's just been slotted into the floor.
Oh, got you. Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
Sounds like some stuff around here needs broken.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the moss grows on this slotted position either. It doesn't seem to like pervade onto the marble at all. But yeah,
Yeah, everyone waits for everyone.
if you're patiently waiting, what you'll note is the dwarf flies up after the second minute, stops for a second, and just kind of hovers there in the air, and then descends back down.
Does he look this way or no?
You can't really tell. Its eyes are kind of just gouged out holes.
Oh, great. Terrifying. Wonderful.
Is it a corpse or like is it spectral?
It is a physical body. Whether or not it's a corpse or not, you're not sure. But yeah,
Okay.
Fiona, you watch.
Well, I mean, I guess corporeal.
Soma, you watch it. Soma finishes his work, very professional, very quick. Makes it over to the other side where the aberrant spirit is. Fiona, do you make your way across the field now?
Before she does, she calls out to him. Is it safe now, Soma? Can we proceed?
Hezrod, Malika, Kel, do you three also move that way?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it looks like it's safe. So yeah, Hezrod moves straight to the end of the hallway.
Okay.
It's safe up to here.
To follow him. Honestly, I think I defer to you, Soma. You seem the most experienced with these sort of things. Please check the hall.
As you're talking, you hear a sound, and as you hear where it comes from, directly behind you. And when you turn to look at it, you note that the green door has been replaced.
I actually don't even turn to look at it, do I?
Is this when you say the green door, you talk about like that panel of crystal?
The door
No,
you
where we
came
came
in
from.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that sucks. Because
The
there's no
door
way to open it from this side, so we're stuck in here.
The keyhole does not appear to be present on this side, nor do you still have the key.
Okay, so so Hezrod sees this kind of like panel of blue crystal. He also sees Avran. Does he see that dwarf thingy?
So again, the things that you see, and I just because it seems like everyone's kind of scattering, I'm going to do this one by one, and I'm going to start with people who have gotten less time to kind of interject. There's a glass wall. Beyond the glass wall, there appears to be a glass doorway. There appears to be a tome of sorts, kind of set on a dais. There, in between that and you, is an iron grate. There sounds like there's water kind of underneath, a burbling water. Directly where you kind of entered into the space, there's the demon face with a solid black gaping mouth that you are sure is just a shadow illusion, as you've seen in other spaces. Avran moved towards what appears to be a white segment of marble slotted into the ground that opens out to a massive empty chamber with railings kind of in this open cavity space. And there is a strange creature that appears to be a dwarf corpse or body with wings attached to its head that is using those to levitate itself up and down inside of the chasm of the massive chamber. That being said, Tom, what would you like to do with your position once you first get out onto the field? As everyone is looking around and based on past experience is going to start running around doing random shit like a bunch of cats who have been thrown into a cat cafe with people who
So presumptuous.
I will
Yeah, really.
cautiously investigate the grate.
Okay. You move over to it. You'll note that it is pretty solid in its positioning there, but you do notice that there is some sort of lock mechanism that you think you could probably work at to open, and it might either, you're not sure, it might either cause the grate to drop or cause the bars of the grate to recess and go into the stone. You're not certain based on that. If you want to make an investigation check, you can.
Can I tell how deep the water is from here? Is it?
Maybe,
I know you said that.
Maybe a foot, maybe two at most.
Okay. And
Hold on. Sorry, Tom, to interrupt. Malika will whisper into your ear that the Lord Balcard watches over you to give you a bonus.
I am not picky.
His 9 eyes walk with you. And go ahead and roll a d4. Sufficient. You note that if you try to unlock this and you don't do so with the key, it's the drop. But if you had the key, you're pretty certain that the metal would actually recess into the walls. Or
How
the
deep
circle.
of a drop is it?
About 2 feet, and then it'll hit water, and then it'll continue about a foot. At its velocity, you're pretty certain that it will make some sort of kerfuffle. And you're pretty sure that's the intent.
Okay. So presumably, if somebody steps on it, that may also cause.
No. It's very sturdy. It's just that if you try to unlock it and you don't have the key, it will drop. If you do have the key, it will open and allow you access to this tunnel.
Does it look like something that can be opened with tools and not a key?
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is if you didn't have the exact key, it's possible that it'll drop out. But if you plan ahead, you might be able to mitigate that.
What if you
And I
had
believe there is running water in the main part of the shrine. Is that correct too?
Yeah, so if you go back out to the front door again, there were the 2 heads on the sides of the door, like the main door, and they had water kind of coming out of them. And the water appears to be heading southbound from here.
Okay. So this may be an escape route if need be.
So, yes, solid. Go ahead, Chad. You are next on my docket. What is Hezrod doing? And also, what was your question regarding?
I was just going to say, what if you had 2 very strong people holding this grate on either side while you sort of unlocked it?
Yeah, that's
trying to keep it from dropping out.
That's a possibility, but what you're noting, Soma, is that it's not one grate that's falling out. It's all of the bars individually falling out. So you'd have to have a very smart process and strong individuals to keep them held up. Yeah,
Well, we have half of that here.
Wait, when you said key, do you actually mean like a lock-in key or more of like a IKEA key, like a assemblage thing?
A lock and key.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to picture what you had in mind.
No worries. It's like a small little box off to the side.
Okay, does Soma kind of convey his findings?
Yeah, I assume so, right? Is that right?
And that this may be a escape route if we have to get out of here since that door is no longer a door.
I was just going to say perhaps it was also an escape route for some of the workers or people who used to, frequent the shrine. So perhaps if there is some sort of key, it'll be deeper in here. This might have been their exit or their failsafe, perhaps?
Or the plumbing.
Absolutely. Hezrod, you kind of walk over there, offer your muscles, right?
Right. I make the suggestion, but really Hezrod's kind of just maintaining his position. He's kind of like talking to the others over his shoulder, but he's keeping his eyes on whatever this fucking thing is.
What fucking thing?
The thing in the other room, the dwarf thing.
Oh, okay. So you and Avren are basically
He's not moving any closer, but he says to the rest of the party,
"What are we doing? Which way should we go?"
Well, if we can find the key, perhaps Soma's found us an exit, and I just assume that if we don't find it, we can also use this route. It just might be more chaotic. Is that the word for it, Soma?
I would say it very much meets the criteria of the Heroes of the library.
There could be a more direct exit further in.
Exactly. So I believe we should. Well, Soma, can you double check if there's any other nefarious traps or schemes or hidden doors, perhaps?
Real quick, point of order. I just want to make sure we're in the right spot of it. Fiona, you're kind of mitigating, speaking to Soma, focus there. Malika, you walked over, granted your prayer assistance to Soma. Avran and Hezrod are focused on the floaty dwarf. That leaves Kel, who's kind of just there. I just want to make sure I know what you're doing at this moment. Kel, as we've discussed, there's a glass door. We've already got someone on the iron
Just
grate.
this one.
Yeah, that's correct. There's the demon face in the middle of the wall that you first saw when you entered in with the weird shadow mouth. There's the marble thing off to the side, and of course the flying dwarf and the railing. Is there anything in particular that you're interested in focusing on?
I was kind of looking over Soma's shoulder.
Okay, so you're just kind of in group mode. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to
fair.
investigate the demon face or anything else?
Kind of actually do.
Okay, then let's do that. So you actually look at it, and you can see there's very finite writing engraved in the brow of the creature. Above that is a symbol, which you think you've seen before, but can't place. The wording reads in common, but it looks like it's kind of written in an old style of lettering, but not hard for you to read. It reads as follows. Those who dare enter take heed. The enemies oppose. One stands between them. In darkness it hides. Don the mask or be seen. Speak no truth to the doomed child. The keys turn on the inside only.
I'll kind of mutter it while I'm reading it.
Post that aloud. You start hearing Kel randomly saying weird words, so everyone probably turns their attention to that. And you would notice that the demon face has that written on its brow.
No, I'll look around and I'll be like, well, I mean, I didn't make it up. It says right there. And I'll point at it on the head.
In
Okay,
darkness it hides.
Something about a mask.
Or be seen. Just double checking. This kind of creature, demonic figure, does it seem like it's sort of like does it give off like Kabuki mask vibes, or like what does it?
I would say the best kind of analogy I can give is if you're familiar with like traditional mentality D&D and you know of the strange idol with the ruby eyes, it's very much of that. I will Google a picture of that, but I hope that most of my viewing audience, Elizabeth, knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, hold on a second. D&D idol ruby eyes. Google, don't fail me. Thank you. You did not do it. You did not fail me. This is what this guy looks like, except his mouth is open.
Oh, yep. Yep.
And his eyes aren't rubies.
He seems friendly.
He's so great. I love that fucking module.
Nice.
Well, that's not the module. That's the player's handbook cover, but there's a module that's associated with that thing.
I'm ready.
All right. So,
Before anything else happens, I, the player, can see this weird thing right here. Can Malika see that weird thing right there?
yeah, if you kind of look inside there, you can see that there appears to be a creature kind of just slowly and idly moving, slotted inside of a crypt on the wall. If you've played Skyrim and you've seen a Draugr, then you would know what that looks like. It's not jumped down or anything, but occasionally it's like that. It's just very much a mindless undead kind of resting in its place. If you do you point it out?
Yeah, I would say not to alert anybody, but alarm anybody. But we've got undead past the crystal wall.
Avran, do you look? Fiona, do you look? Hezron,
Avran would look, yeah.
Yeah.
The three of you, as you look, you see something that you've seen before. They are dressed like the husbands of Villusk.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, these motherfuckers.
Oh.
Do any of them have fishing spears?
No, they appear to be each There do look like there are a couple of them. If you walk up to the glass door, you would actually see that there's quite a few of them. It looks like they all have very, very ornate-looking bronze swords, and it would seem that they are wearing the finest of garb for princes.
Hezrod's kind of looking through the glass, and then he like takes the tip of his spear and he like taps it on the glass. He's kind of testing its hardness and seeing if it's maybe something he could break.
Okay.
Wait, are they telling us that this is something that they've seen before?
Did they tell you?
We kind of saw their eyes light up, right?
Yeah, they seem to have recognition.
Fun fact, I've been carrying around these fucking robes since day one, and no one ever wanted to buy them for me because they were worth nothing. But she
All
pulled
the
out
color
red, green, and yellow robes.
Remember, red was aristocratic, so
She puts on the red robe. Red was the highest one, I remember.
Yeah.
And green was also okay. That was middle, I think, right?
Yeah. Green, they didn't really mess with you, and then yellow was like you're seen as the bottom, I believe.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. She put that I kept these fucking robes.
When you-
As she's putting it on, she holds up the other two because she only has one of each color, actually.
When you touch the spear against the glass, you realize that it's crystal, but it does seem to leave a small little speck of abrasion, of break. You're pretty sure if you put some effort into it, you might be able to lance through this crystal wall.
Fiona, I found something weird.
Yes, I'm very familiar with how horrible this area is. To what are you referring?
I think I can break this door.
Break it.
Did you say
If
that with a question
necessary,
mark, or did
although
you say that with
I
a
haven't
command?
tried to open it yet. I'm not sure I want to mess with these guys.
Question mark, for sure.
Yes, that would be wise. Thank you, Hezrod. Perhaps we should all just regroup, please, and choose one path together.
Yes. Come along, Avran.
Perhaps one of you brave individuals could see what hides in the darkness of that relief there, as Kel so studiously read out.
I'm sorry, did you say this marble slab, was that closed or was it opened?
It has an open mouth with
It
a
has
pit
a
of darkness in there.
Open mouth, about wide enough for you to shove your hand in.
No, I was talking about this slab of marble over here.
Oh, the slab of marble's in the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a
door.
feeling that if we cross that threshold, it's gonna
Yeah.
there is something inside that statue that we need. But I feel like okay, this is out of character Chad
Alright.
talking. I'm thinking out loud.
You can
I feel like there is more information or something in this room that is going to help us with this and kind of give us more information about what this does. But I feel like if we blindly go this way, that's probably going to slide upwards and it's going to split the party. And I don't want to do that.
Avron could stick his hand in the hole if no one wants to.
I mean, if anybody knows what it feels like to lose a hand.
Do it.
Yeah,
Do
true.
it.
Hey, yeah, I mean, it's not the first time.
Wait,
It won't be the
true.
last.
since
Or
we're-
it looks like it might be Malika's type of people.
does he still have that fancy prosthetic or was it like erased?
demons? Wow. Okay, calling people out for demonness, but we are at 10. I just want to make sure we get to a nice stopping point, even though we did have that middle part where it was weird, but we did roleplay. But Avran, are you putting your hand into the hole?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yes. Doing it
Okay.
all the way in.
You
Elbow
stick
deep.
your hand inside.
I guidance him.
He has guidance, it's fine. You have a feeling that your hand is in an empty space. And it almost feels like there's nothing around as you kind of feel around and are kind of seeing if anything kind of is present or there. And then suddenly, a massive biting pain surges up your arm. And that is where we'll leave off for the session. Thanks for watching those that did. We'll see you next week on Friday as I take Avran's arm again.
Ooh.
What's the
Is
mummy?
this like an
The
agony
mummy.
box?
Stopping the stream.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I was trying to remember what that thing was